Mm-hmm.
So one of the main things I want to concentrate on is on the projects page.
Yes. Hey, that looks good.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I looked through the views. I got to arrange how I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
But the idea is that this
Yep.
project ID needs to be a hyperlink to what will be an abstract page.
Okay.
Which will look something like, I have it open. Something like this.
Okay, so like the actual node page for that thing. Okay. So can you go back to the?
Here's what I did, which I only did one because I said this is probably not the right way.
Okay.
And I was trying to be clever to have all these tabs open because it's
Yeah.
so small.
Yeah, it's like it's a balance. I always have so many tabs, and like there's a certain number of tabs that helps, and then there's a certain number that makes it harder, and I always end up having too many.
Well, you know what? So what I ended up doing,
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't think this is the right approach. I created another view
Yeah.
called RDRC Abstract,
Okay.
but I don't think that that's what we want. I mean, do we want just separate pages for all the
So,
abstracts?
so
I don't know how to, the methodology of how Drupal, so much I don't understand.
yeah, so I think
Learn.
well the concept,
Like, abstract.
yeah. So the abstract is the actual page of the oh, okay, so sorry. Abstracts is a different content type than projects.
It's a link. It will be.
Can you press edit on that page?
The page.
Yeah. Is this an abstract content type?
So this is a
Or this is a project content type, right? Okay, edit. Ooh, sir, can you go up a little bit? Edit RDRC abstract. So this is an RDRC abstracts content type. It looks like, right?
Yeah. So what I did is I would go to content. Oh, which one is this?
Hmm.
And then add content.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is what I want. And then I would put
Yeah,
an RDRC abstract.
that seems right.
Does.
Yep.
And then I would add it in here. But I created a view, so there'd be project ID, investigator name, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the right thing to do.
So are abstracts different than projects, or this looks like a project content type?
Okay, abstracts. The project page is just a list of all the projects.
Yeah.
Janet, the director she wants the link. She wants this link here.
Mm-hmm.
Put up to.
So I guess that Debbie, the thing I'm trying to understand is an abstract a piece of information on a project page, or is an abstract a completely different structure of content for something unrelated to projects?
The abstract page is more detail about each project.
Okay. So I think maybe it's worth just stepping back and thinking about these concepts one more time, and I'll explain them in the Drupal convention just so it'll make it easier on like the editing side of things. So there's two concepts here. There's content types and views, and these are both Drupal conventions. So just bear with me for a second. So the content type is when you go into like the Drupal structure section and you say like, okay, create a new content type, and then you add a bunch of fields to it. So for instance, if you want a content type called projects, you would add a bunch of project related fields. Maybe it's like project title, project description. Maybe the project has an abstract. Maybe the project has a file upload. Maybe the project has citations and things like that. And I think, we've created that structure with RDRC projects. So once you have that structure, every time you fill out that content add form, so that add content button there, and you fill that out, and you add a RDRC project there, right below the abstract. So it has all those fields, right? Every time you fill that out, this creates its own page. So this is basically like the mold that creates a bunch of like products. So it's like stamping out these pages. So this is the mold, and it's just stamping out pages on your site. And every time you save one of those, it has its own page that lives, and that would be the page that you actually want to go to, right?
It's the abstract page, yep.
Okay, so I don't think there's it looks to me like there's not a need for another content type called abstract. I think we have the recipe for everything we need right here with just the content type, and then basically the view is it's only allowing you to have an additional display for lists of content of that type. So if you use this mold here, this project mold, and you stamp out a bunch of projects, right? They have all this information. They have their project ID, the investigator, the project link, right? It has all that information. You stamp a bunch of those out, and then you create a view to display like a whole list of them, and then you should be able to click into each one of those individual pages and then show all that additional information. So if this page needs an abstract to it, I would add a field to this original content type.
But it doesn't because she wants the project page to look just like this.
Oh,
Save, and investigate.
okay,
That's all we want this project page to have.
that's okay.
And then we want to click on this here.
Yep.
Will open up the abstract page.
Okay, so okay.
First, I guess, how do we take this as clickable link?
Let's do that real quick. Okay, so let's go to the view that controls this page. If you hover over this, does it give you a little pencil icon, or do you have the view open by chance? So if you go under structure in the admin bar, we can get to the view. Yeah, click on views, and then we'll click on projects. Yeah, edit that. Okay. So this is where it gets a little confusing, but we're going to do something called field rewriting here. So the first thing we need to do is we have to add a field that has information about the node page that is created. So, when you stamp out a bunch of project pages, each one of those project pages has its own node ID. And we need to have that ID in order to be able to route to it. Or we need to be able to get the path of the page. So one thing we can do is if you go to the add next to the right of the fields section there, and then search for path.
I'm sorry, path?
Yeah, path, P-A-T-H. Is that not one of the things? Okay. I thought that there used to be a replacement pattern called path, but if you search for node ID, that should work too. Or NID, actually, just type NID. Okay, interesting. Can you scroll down on this? Yeah. Oh, they just call it ID, it looks like. So, yeah, as you see where it says, yeah, it's content. No, we don't want the content revision ID. We want, can you scroll down a little bit more? Oh, is that it? All right, I guess get rid of the ID there, and we'll have to search through here. Oh wait, no wait. Oh, sorry. Back where if you go to the top again, type in ID and then go to the very top. Yes, click on that, and then add and configure. And then, okay, so then just click exclude from display at the top. So we don't want to display the ID at all. We just want to be able to use it in a field rewrite. So, yep, click display, and then click click apply at the bottom. And then, okay, now go to the right of the add fields and say rearrange. So, yeah. And bring that all the way to the top. So we want, so order here matters. So basically, if we want to be able to use that ID field in any of these other fields here, we have to reorder it so that's at the top. If it's below those fields, those other fields can't access that value. Does that make sense? Okay, so we'll save that. And then, if you come into the project ID field, if you click on that, and then you go to rewrite results, and you scroll down, you can actually, the easiest thing to do would probably, output this field as a custom link. Click that. And then the link path, there you would type node / and then scroll down a little bit more on this page. Scroll down a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little more. Okay, see where it says replacement patterns? Click that link there real quick. Okay, do you see where it says NID? Copy that thing, everything between including those curly brackets. Yeah, but not the equals and not the anything after that. Just the yes, right there, exactly. Copy that. So this is a replacement pattern. It's basically using twig type syntax, but basically what's happening here is we got that NID, that node ID field, we put it above so it was accessible. Then we said we don't want to display it now, but we might want to use it later in one of the fields below here. And basically now we're grabbing that value and we're using it in this path setting here. So you know how like every Drupal page in the background gets a node / node ID value. So we're basically saying, hey, for whatever page is being displayed in our view, give us the node / node ID path, and let's link this new project ID to the node ID path, and that will send us to the page. I know that's a lot, but let's see what that looks like in practice. So if you can actually scroll down and save this now.
Did I put that in the right place?
That's perfect. Yep. Oh, and I forgot that we're in a subsite, so we might have to account for that. But let's just save it. Actually, hover over one of those. See how they look like links now in the display at the bottom?
Yeah.
So can you actually? I can't really see that full link. Can you click hide where it says Uber Conference screen sharing? Oh, it seems like it works. Okay, that's good. That's all I need to verify. Oop. Okay, so make sure that the
This is open the node pages that I created.
yeah. So save. Make sure this view is saved, and then yeah, save that. And I think now if you go back to the actual display of that view.
Still saving. Okay.
So now if you click into those, you should be able to click into any of those and go to the actual page. See if that works.
Yep.
And is that the right page?
No, I haven't created the other thing. I haven't created the content yet for it. I only did for this one.
Okay. So the thing to do is now on the initial page that you create there, you would edit those pages and fill out the content there. Now, all that content doesn't have to display in this view, but you can have more content display on the actual node page that you click into. So the view can stay very small and it can be just these like little teasers, and then the actual page will have a ton more information in there.
So can we do one?
Sure.
Okay, so let's so why don't I just let me go back here. So maybe I should delete this RDRC abstract page, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're using those right now. You can leave those or you could delete those for now, it looks like. I think we're only using project pages.
Excuse me, okay. I like to be clean if I'm gonna use it. So then we want to go back to structures and we want to go to views. And then we're going to go to edit. And then we're going to
So
categorize it.
what are you trying to do right now?
So, so shouldn't we, so that you need to add the fields that are going to appear in the project page?
No, nope. So I think you're all set now. So I think all you have to do is um, click into one of those project page. Go back to your content page. So like click on any of those tabs. We can click on content. That's fine. And then click on any project page there. Edit one of those. And then click edit. And basically, all you need to do is start filling out some of this information if it's not already filled out. So yeah, like adding project links, adding more information here. If you
Explain this again to me, Tim. I mean, I want the body, I want the page to look like,
Sorry, what's that?
um, I'm just trying to use,
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you, Debbie.
oh, sorry, is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Alright, so each of these links
Yep.
on our project page
Yes.
needs to open up to a page that looks like this.
Okay. So,
I guess my question is where here would I put that information?
So we need to make sure the fields are appropriate. So I would go back to our project content type. So yes, structure.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do before.
Gotcha. So what I think you did before is you added a new content type. What I think we needed to, not views, we're actually going to go to content types.
We go to content.
So views are only for, and so actually, yeah, just go back in your browser actually. So you need to go to structure, content types. And then in here, you don't need so you added a new content type. What we really need to do is flesh out our original content type. So the abstract content, you can delete the abstracts content type. We don't really need that. I don't think. My understanding of this is we don't need it. So basically we have a project content type. That project needs to hold. So see all these fields that you added here, like the program and focus, access, the project abstract, that stuff. We need to add all those fields to the project content type.
Think I'm gonna delete this?
Yeah, I don't think we need it. So okay, so again, the concepts are The content type is going to hold all the information that you're ever going to need. So the page that you click into, like in that Word document you showed, that has all that information, the project content type needs to hold all that. So any bit of that information, if we need a field for it, we need to add it to this content type. So let's take a look in there. Let's look at RDRC projects again. Click Manage Fields. And then let's look back at your Word document and let's just go one for one on those and add those fields. So we have the body, we have the ID, we have that stuff. That's okay. If you click back into that Word document, it looks like, oop. So it looks like we need, okay. So we need an investigator field. We need a program in focal areas field. We need keywords. We need abstract specific aims. And it looks like that might be it. So let's add those. Let's add investigator. Let's add an investigator field. So add field. Oh, we have that. Okay, perfect. We have that. Okay. So let's go back. What's the next field that we need? We need program in focal areas. Do we have that field?
No, you know what I did? I added all of these to that abstract.
Yeah. So the thing is, we should have added them to this initial content type. So there's one thing that I'd mention here. It looked like the focal area is like a list of information. So we should actually probably create a couple taxonomies here. So yeah, so the first thing we should do is actually keep this open right here. But let's go to a new tab, one of those other tabs that you have open, RDRC abstract right to the left. Let's click that and just click structure here. Yeah, perfect. And then scroll down and click taxonomy. Yep, perfect. And then let's create a new taxonomy. New vocabulary at the top. And name this, can you go back to the word, I would say project, and then whatever's in that Word document, whatever this is called. Say project program in focal areas, or just program in focal areas, whatever you think is better name for it. Yeah, perfect. And then paste, yep, save that. And now, just to you should populate it with a couple of terms. We know that we have a couple already that are needed. So basically, anytime that you come across a term in that Word document, you're going to want to add it to this vocabulary here. And that will allow you to reference it on all sorts of content types. So click Add Term.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay, so what we're doing right here, so this is this kind of, taxonomy vocabulary. Basically what we're doing here is we're creating lists. The lists don't do much, but they're reusable all over the place. So we're creating a standard centralized place for this list. And that way, every time you create a new piece of project content, you can reference a term on the list versus kind of handwriting it out every time, which you could write typo. You can, make spelling errors, and you can make mistakes. And then basically there's no powerful way to do filtering and things like that if you're just writing it every time. Versus if you have one standardized centralized list, that opens up a lot of doors for you to do powerful things like filtering or linking things together or showing related content and things like that. So we're going to try to maintain these terms in a centralized list, and that's basically what we're doing here. Yep, exactly. So you add a term, and if you go back to that Word document, the first term is disability support, and then copy that too. Exactly. Oh, nope, just up and right before the semicolon there. Yeah, perfect. So you copy that. That's our first term. Paste that in the name section. You could add a description if you wanted. We don't need to. You can just save it. And then it should just open right on a new add term form, which is great. So now go back to the thing and copy disability. Incidents. And then push that in there and save that. Okay, so now we've started our vocabulary. We can leave it at that for now. That's all we need to do our first one here. And then basically, if you go back to the tab that says Add Field to to the right of where it says add term. Yeah, exactly. So now click, yep, and say reference and say taxonomy term under reference. Exactly. And then name it the same thing as the title that you had given the vocabulary. So it was, yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yes. And then you can say, so where it says limited, change that to say unlimited. So if you click that as a drop down, exactly. Because we want to be able to reference as many terms as you want to reference. And if you scroll down here and save this, oh, actually, sorry, before you save it, sorry, that's okay. We can go back in and edit it. That's fine. Just let that complete. We want to limit it to that new taxonomy that we just created. So, oh, scroll down. Actually, I think you might be able to do it here. Oh, okay. So, we just created the project, program, and focal areas vocabulary. Let's select that in that select list below. Nope, below in the check marks. Sorry, the check boxes. If you go down a little bit, it says project. Exactly. So basically what we're saying is we want to limit this to only this vocabulary. And then save the settings. Okay. So now we have that field there. Let's add a new field. We have another, we'll go back to the Word document. So the next thing is keywords. This is going to work exactly the same way. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a new vocabulary for keywords. Yeah, we have to, let's create the vocabulary first. So you can click into the add, like where you're adding terms before, that other tab you have open. Yeah, and then do you see in the breadcrumbs at the top there? Click on taxonomy. Do you see where it says, do you see the breadcrumb? Yeah, exactly. Click on taxonomy there. And then click add vocabulary at that button, the big blue button there. And just like we did project, program, and focal areas, now we'll do project keywords. And save this. And then add, if you, yeah. And then you're basically going to add each of these terms individually. So the first one's just going to be DI. And save. The next one is SSI. Then it's disability incidents, I believe.
Is it okay to put it right here?
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. And then I would just, yep, exactly, perfect. Save that. Then your last one is the whole, yeah, geographic differences in disability receipt. Exactly. And so now we're keeping a standardized. Do you see how this could be powerful by having a standardized list for this? Because if we ever need to reference this again, we want to make sure that we're using, we're not calling it like geography differences, right? Like, because then you're having two disparate things that mean the same thing. We want to have that be as concise as possible. So now, basically, what would happen if you have to like reference a keyword like this, you would look it up and you would find that one that we just created. Okay, anyways, we'll get there in a minute. Let's go back to the add field tab that you have open to the right of this tab in your browser. And then let's, exactly like you said, taxonomy term, and this time let's do project keywords. So now we're going to reference that vocabulary that we just created. Exactly, exactly. Oop, I think it might have tried to save before it was it. So you have to actually, yeah, it was doing it. It's doing it like an Ajax load right there. So before you click
Oh,
save, yeah, let that finish. It's just kind of funny. Um, and I think because the server is a little slow, that it had trouble with that. Okay, so now that that's been added there. Okay, so then if you go back to uh, your Word document, so the next thing we want to do is we want to add another field to our content type called abstract specific aims.
that won't be a list field, right? With taxonomy and
Yeah, this one's gonna be different. So like the other ones look like they're standardized terms that are going to be reused across, and this is actually, yeah. So you can click on the Manage Fields tab. It's to the right of this tab that you have open. Yeah, and click Add Field. So we're back on the content type page, and we want to add another field to that content type. Although it's not a list like our last one, so when we select the field type, we're going to want to scroll all the way down to text exactly, and then we probably want a formatted long text. You could do plain. So this actually comes down to personal preference here. Do you want your users to be able to like bold and italicize and do things like that to the text, or do you want them to only be able to write plain text in this kind of field?
oh, I think looking at yeah, I think bold, italic,
Yeah, and I see bullets and stuff like that. I see the bullets below. That looks like it's all part of the same thing. Okay, so let's give them the full. Since we want them to do that, and you have the right one selected there, the formatted long. So formatted means it's going to allow users to make things like lists and bold text and italic text and things like that. Yep, exactly. And then you save that. We only need one of these fields, so you can leave that there. We need it unlimited because we want with the other field because we want to add a lot of individual terms. In this case, we only want one big text field. And then you can just save this. We don't really need a default value or anything like that. And then, okay, so now I think we've built out the structure for this project page. Now what we want to do is we actually want to go back into a couple of the individual content this content versions of these pages and add the actual content to them. Sorry, I said that in a confusing way. Yeah, let's go back to yeah, exactly, into the content section.
can we change the order though?
Sorry, what's that?
Um, where is it? What I structure. Rearrange them to
Oh, definitely. Yeah, rearrange them exactly. Rearrange them however you want. This is very yeah, good insight. This is important.
I don't see the name, but
So you looking for the title? The title is handled a little bit differently.
okay, all right. What's
Um,
the field? I mean, that should be last. Actually, I think it looks like it's in pretty good order.
okay.
And I know how to change it, so okay.
Okay, perfect. And then you can change like if you want the labels to appear or not appear, you can play with all that too. There's a lot of cool settings you can do in there.
So why don't we go to the first one?
Yeah, let's go to one and edit it.
I'm just gonna open this up in a. I'm just gonna move this over to the other side.
Sure.
Okay, so then we're gonna edit.
Exactly. And if you scroll down, now you have the ability to add all this information here. So I would find in your spreadsheet, find NB19-01 and then start copying and pasting the information from there into this new structure. Does that make sense? So, okay, so important thing to notice here is you want to actually look up those terms. So do you see how, so if you backspace a little bit on this, just start typing one of those terms like manually right now. And so see that little blue spinner? That's an Ajax call that's looking up in the database and saying, hey, do you want one of these terms from our vocabulary? And then you click that, And then if you want another term, you would just say add another item below that, like if you want a second one. So click that again.
What's the 30?
That is the taxonomy ID, I believe. You don't have to really worry too much about that. So yeah, that was taxonomy ID 30. That's 31. But basically, yeah, you can see how you can look up these things individually.
Okay. And then
Yeah, that last one didn't look like it didn't save. I think you had to click into it. So if you can continue typing or like backspace or something like that, it'll do another call. So it's looking for input in order to do a call, and then you just click on if you click on the little link that popped up, that will exactly. So now that's saved.
copy and paste really doesn't work well from Word. Actually, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah, it sometimes it doesn't work great. Yeah, another thing is you got to make sure the support the tags are supported.
The thing is, though, is it's going to be really a problem because that's how all of our, that's the way, you know, everyone, how we get all our information from Word.
Yeah.
Like it's
It will
copy
see
and
the issue is Word and a lot of those text editors they keep a lot of style. So actually click on the source here. Click on that source button in that. Do you see go if you scroll back up to the top? Oh no and if that okay. Do you see where it says P style text align it has all that style in there? Word is trying to format the text itself. So when you copy and paste, you're getting all the miscellaneous style in there, which is not great because we styled the website specifically, right? Like we added Georgia font and we did all those things. And look at right here. It's saying, hey, disregard whatever the website said and add Times New Roman font. And it's having its own fonts from Word. And so Word is really dangerous. You actually want to strip as much of the Word style out as you possibly can, normally.
so let's do this instead.
What's
See
that?
how it works. Let me see. I'm going to do this instead, okay? I'm going to, okay, there it is, all stripped out.
Hmm.
If I didn't get all of this information, sorry.
So I can see that's not completely stripped out because the fact that it has bullets still means that there's still some information there. So one thing you can do to completely strip things out, if you do Control Shift V when you paste, that should strip everything completely out. You're gonna lose your bullets and everything though.
Okay, let me try that. Well, you know what? I'm not going to spend. I'll figure that out. I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a huge deal. Okay,
Plus,
and
this is all going to change anyways. She hasn't given me the final.
yeah, and then real quick though, so those last things were supposed to be bullets, right? Like starting from data will be checked and below. So just highlight everything from data will be checked for accuracy all the way to the bottom there. Yeah, highlight that, and then click on in the WYSIWYG in those buttons. Yeah, exactly. So this would be the way to do it. You want to like use like the WYSIWYG style over the Word style. So perfect. And you see how all those style tags and everything were removed?
Okay.
That's much better. And from here you can go and you can save it. And and Debbie, I do actually have to run in a few minutes, so hopefully we got you to a pretty good place here for understanding this. So we'll just try to I'll try to recap of like everything of how this is going to look. But do you see how this like now this page has a lot more information on it?
Yep.
It's starting to look like the page that you wanted to create, right?
Yep. Except I don't want this in a
You want it like inline instead of like a yeah. So that's styling that we can do. We can cover like basically you might be able to format that in the field settings. I'm not sure. Like if you go back to your structure, content types, uh, RDRC project, and then click manage display instead of manage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can change that here. If not, then it's something you can definitely style with CSS. Okay, so link to entity reference. You click to the right, that little gear icon all the way to the right. See if it gives you any options here. No, looks like not. Sorry, you're gonna have to style that individually, but that's easy enough. So you basically would change the style from block to inline block or inline, and that will allow it to fall in line. We can go over that later, but I just want to make sure that this whole kind of concept here between the views and the content types is wrapped up before I have to hop off.
Before we
So,
hop off, can we just, I guess that the most important thing for me is, um, ooh, man, I'm just gonna go back to content. So when I, so when I'm on the project page,
mm-hmm,
how do I make, and I click on here,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm just gonna clean this up in the display so that it's only gonna display what I want it to display.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't need that anymore in here. I just need the ID, the investigator, this,
Yeah, so you don't want that.
well, yeah,
Oh, okay, so what you can do is so
maybe we can move down someplace.
yeah, so that's how you on your content type on the manage display where we were a minute ago. You can you can hide those fields or you can rearrange them. Yeah, exactly, right here. Exactly. So that's your project ID field you don't want, or your investigator. I can't remember what you don't want to see.
Well, I guess I want the name. This is how I want it to look. Like this.
Okay.
So the ID, the name of the project.
Okay. So let's go back to display and let's make sure it's ordered exactly like this. So you have ID, and then you need the oh, then you need your name. So you need the ID for the name. So this is where we probably should have. So if you click, can you click to the tab to the right real quick? The one right to the right, yeah. And then click into that first one, that first NB19, yeah. Okay, and let's leave this page open for a minute. So we made this thing the title of the page. We should have made that ID be the title. Does that make sense? Because I mean, we can play around with this and we can put the title in between here, but it's going to be more work. It's going to, the complication of that is going to be more effort than it is to just adjust that. So
Okay. So if we switch that around.
yeah, so if we went back into
Okay, I'm sorry.
our content type, the thing to do, and this is going to be a little bit of work because it's going to require you to actually edit every single one you've created and change it. And you have to change a fair amount. You're going to have to change the views and everything. But what should be done in order to have this happen is if you go to the structure content type, RDRC, it, RDRC projects, yes. And then click edit. We should really name this not project name. We should name it project ID. Exactly. And then save that. And actually, and then we're, And then we should probably go into the manage fields again, actually to the right of RDRC projects. And then instead of a project ID field here, you should create a project name field. So I would leave it for now just so you can reference it, but eventually you're going to want to delete this field. I would add a new field, call it project name, make it a text field. That yeah, plain text is fine. Call it project name, and then save. Yep. And then save that. And then we're going to have to make one more adjustment to the view afterwards. Yeah, and then just save again. Now quickly, actually click back onto that. You see where it says RDRC projects, the last tab you have to the right, the tab in your browser, the last tab you have open. Yeah. Click into the top one again there. The NB, yeah. Oh, sorry, that's not available. In a page where you're logged in, can you maybe the tab to the left of this one? Nope. Yeah, just click into any page and then. All right, let's fix the view real quick. Let's fix the view. Can you search for RDRC projects? Yep, and then edit. And we can leave these other fields. We'll just not display them real quick. So, can you update? Okay. So can you add a new field? Nope. To the where the field section is. Yeah, exactly. And then look for project name, the new field that we just created. Add that exactly. And that's fine as it is. You can apply this. Okay, and then rearrange that. Exactly, rearrange. And then pull up project name and put that right under title. Nope. Yeah, perfect. Save that. Apply. And now, you can, before you save it, you don't need to save it quite yet. Before you save it, click on where it says title, content title. Click link to content. Click apply. And then where it says project ID, you no longer need to display this. So you can click exclude from display for now. And it also looks like I missed the link to content. That would have been the easiest thing to check. Anyways, sorry, there's a lot going on here, but I'm just running out of time, so I want to get you set. Okay, and save that. And you can scroll down on your display, your page right here, so we can see what this is displaying like. So it's going to look a little weird, right? That's because we have all the wrong values in there right now. So what we're going to do now is, on our content page, we're going to have to edit this to change this around a fair amount. Let's do the first one, maybe two together, and then I really got to hop off. Yep, so click on that, or click on edit to the right of it. Or edit here is fine. So now we're changing some things. So project, yeah, you're going to copy, cut and paste, or do a Control X on that so you can cut it. Or just, yeah, exactly. If that's the right ID. And then the value that you cut, you're going to want to come down and put that in the project name, because we still want that name. So all the way down at the bottom. And you can rearrange what this looks like, but you want to paste that in there. Exactly. And then save that. And you're basically going to go through and do that for a lot of these.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you go to the views, let me just go to your project.
Well, this is fun. This is interesting. So that's not the title. Okay.
And this will still be clickable, right?
Yeah. So exactly. So it should. Yeah. Exactly. So if you go back to your view, do you see how that one was updated, but the rest of them haven't been?
Right.
So that's basically what's happening there. Now the funny thing that's happening here is, where is the title of this? It looks like the title is not being displayed.
This is the title.
No, that's not the. Can you click edit again? So that's your body, the disability, whatever. The project ID, the name, the title. That's the title field up there. That's the required field for everything. That one is not being displayed right now. So let's go back to. I think your block settings are not displaying that title. So can we go to our structure? Block layout. And is this what theme are we using for RDRC? Are we using the other? Are we using RDRC theme? Okay, perfect. That makes it easy. And now under content, uh, can you do a search for title?
Where do I do that?
Just like a Control F on your page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. Okay. So under content, can you press place block? Oh, page title is disabled. Actually, right there. Page title. Let's enable that.
It says it's enabled though, right?
It says disabled. And then, okay, so that enables it. And then go back to your,
Did it work?
well, we'll see. It should.
Is it? Okay.
And then if
Save
you,
it?
I think it might be saved already. You can click that if you want. And then if you go back to like the page that one of the pages we're looking at. So any of that, yeah. Probably one of the ones where we're logged in would be best. You can click any tab. We'll just go back there. And then click into that first one there. Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now that title, do you see how that's appearing? So you may or may not want that like that.
No.
But no, you don't want it like that.
I don't know. What do you think?
Um, I don't know. I mean, you should be able to place it different places if you want. So you could place that here. Let's place it a different place real quick. Let's just go click on the block layout where you were to right to the right. Yeah. And then scroll down. Scroll down to the content section. A little more. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, so now do you see where it says tabs, primary admin access, and then made page content? Do you see those? Okay, just real quick, I want to show you what that corresponds to. Click to the tab to the left one more time. The in your browser, the tab right to the left of this one.
Oh,
Click that one time. Okay. So do you see where it says view, edit, delete? Those are the tabs. Do you see below that all the content? That's the main content. So that's what the block displays are placing onto the page there. We can add the title in between those. So if you click on block layout one more time and then say where it says content, say place block.
here?
Yep. And then search for title. Oh, page title. It's right there, actually. Do you see that? Say place block. And just display, like, just save block as is. Or you could, yeah, it does, yeah, it's better just leave it like that. And then, okay. So you can put it above or below the tabs. That's your own personal preference. I would maybe put it below the tabs, yep. And then scroll to the bottom and save it. Exactly. And then if you go click on the tab to the left of this one in your browser and just reload that page. Okay, so now you're getting the title down there. So that might be something more like what you want. And then you could go and you could disable that block again if you wanted to. So go back to your block layout. You can click the tab. You can do that too if you want. I'm not sure if you can disable it from those settings though. Yeah, why don't you click just the block? Yeah, click the page title right there. It's gonna be the easiest thing to do. And just like we enabled it before, see right there where it says page title? Up a little bit. Up a little more. Up a little more. A little bit more.
Where am I going?
Up.
Here.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. And then disable. Okay, and then yep. And then you can click the tab to the left again and just press go back on it. Just yeah. And then reload. All right. So that's kind of more what the page is looking like. And so basically what you want to do now is go through all the content you've created and do that kind of switcheroo that we did. Remember, make the ID the new title, then copy the other text and put it in the project name section. And go do and adjust all of those individually. That will fix your view. So if you click on project page right now, you'll notice that some of them aren't quite right. So yeah, click into each one of these pages and then below there, and you just fix it individually. So we could do the next one real quick. Let's do that one real quick, just to do another example. So click edit. Yep, copy that, cut that, and then paste that all the way at the bottom. Okay, save that. Perfect. And then obviously you'd fill out the other information appropriately. And then go back to your projects, click on projects again. You see now that there's 2 that are working. So you just basically go through and do that for all of them. And then when you're completely done, you can actually go and delete that initial project ID field, if that makes sense. But
Do I have?
you don't have to, but you can go ahead and do that so it's not repetitive on the page if you wanted to. And I actually have to hop off. I got to hop onto another call, Debbie, but hopefully this makes sense. I know we covered a lot in a short period of time.
My head's spinning.
What's that?
I said my head is spinning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a lot to cover with some of this stuff. It's hard to
One question on the apps. I will refer to it as the abstract page where we have the I like this appearing.
Sorry, what's that?
So the title here appearing is a good thing. But
Uh,
on this project page, do we have to have that?
oh, okay, so you could choose. Okay, if you don't want it to appear on those pages, let's do that real quick. Do you want it to appear on those pages?
I think I only wanted to be on the link that is on the abstract, on the app, where it has all the information.
Okay, so let's go back to our block layout real quick. Yeah, that page you have there. Scroll down where we added the title under content. Okay, yep, page title down. Yep, right to the right. Configure.
Oh, I know what to do. The pages.
I would actually go back to your content types. I think the best thing to do is do this by content type.
I went to the wrong.
Oh, no. Sorry. On this, yeah. And restrict it to just, sorry, content types. What's the difference here? I would restrict it to RDRC projects. So click that and save it. And this will only appear for those new pages that you're editing.
Perfect. Okay, I don't want to hold you up anymore.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get you the videos soon, Debbie. Sorry for the delay on all those. But we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Have a great trip.
All right. Thanks so much. See you later.